music, the entertainment industry has uplifted the youth in Nigeria. You can argue with me, but from the moment that Nigerian music went global, so many people have gained jobs that are directly or indirectly related to that music industry.
Shout out to Mr. J.
Mother Nature, like, how the fuck you doing that, Max? Trust me, I do a lot of shit like I'm doing much less. Got the mindset of DJ Khaled, I'm doing what's best. It's been body bags after body bags, so who is up next?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in and welcome back once again to yet another episode of Mr. J Official Reactions. And if this is your first time coming through, they call me Mr. J. I appreciate you stopping by, and this is channel number 2 for Mr. J. And if you came from the old channel, you saw love. I appreciate my Ghanaians, my Nigerians that have been coming through, those in the Ivory Coast, man, those in South Africa. Hey, you saw love, man. I really do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Now, if you know me, Mr. J is no stranger to always calling a spade as it is. And from my old channel, I've always been talking about industries around Africa, music industries around Africa. So I created this new channel, and I said in the beginning that this channel is going to be 200%. In fact, 2000% just music. Anything that has to do with music. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we do get started, I want to let you know, I want to talk about, they say charity begins at home. There's a quote like that. And every child from the motherland understands that. And I want to talk about my home industry 237. And where it's at today and what is really happening and why it is still a lame industry right to date. I know some of my KAMER237 audience are not going to like this, but we got to call a spade before we do get started. Please, if you've not done it, do not forget, man. I'm trying to hit the 500 to 1,000 subscriber bridge, man. Hey, help a brother get there, because the soonest I can get this other channel monetized, the better it's going to be for me. You feel me? And hey, I know that with your help, we can do it like you did with the first channel. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you go through my old YouTube channel, the first one, I have a whole lot of vlogs where I talked about the differences between industries and what industries are doing in Africa and how they are progressing. Now, that was a couple of years ago. Now, for the past 2 and almost 3 years now, I was out because I was trying to handle health issues, which it needed my attention urgently. And it hurts me to see that after saying all those things I said on the first channel and the pause for almost 3 years, and then I'm still seeing that the Cameroonian music industry is still as lame as it was back then. And I remember that back then when I said this, everybody got on my balls, and especially those in Cameroon, man. I had this, that. I had problems with some of the Cameroonian artists. I have those who just came and just started saying something way that didn't even have to do anything with the music and stuff like that. But unfortunately, or do I say unfortunately? Well, it just turns out that maybe those things I said was just premonitions, because when you look at the Cameroonian industry and where it is today and where I was talking about back in the days, they have not changed. They are still as lame, as lazy, as confused, as disorganized and disunified as you can think of. Now, ladies and gentlemen, given, man, you know, back in the day, some artists from Cameroon came out and said, oh, they are better than this artist, better than that artist, but we never ever saw anything. Like, if you fast forward to today, you will see that those artists in Cameroon who were making noise, I'm better than this, I'm better than that, my this, blah, 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 they are still as lame as anything. They cannot even pull a crowd of 2,000 people in attendance for any concert that they do, right? Even in Cameroon. Now, this is not to take an attack on any artist in Cameroon, but if your fan bases still get pissed off and you want to gum on my nuts, that's fine. We're going to call a spade a spade. For the past couple of days, man, we all know that there's some good, talented artists in Cameroon, but for some weird reason, these folks' career have never really taken off. It only stays in the Cameroonian borders, within the border of Cameroon. Is that a good thing? Hey, it's not me to tell. But when we look at what is happening around Africa today, where we have new artists who came up Back then, when I was saying certain things about the Cameroonian music industry, there were artists that are making it big today, like they are on top of their game today, and they getting booked and they're doing tours globally that were not even on the spot. They were not even in the spotlight back then. I remember back then when there was this beef between Ghanaian MC and prolific rapper, man, Lyrical Joe, and Jovi of Cameroon, man. It went back and forth, and some things I said, which I go back and always listen to it, and I was like, man, maybe what I said, some of you guys need to go listen to it and really come to terms with what I said, because it turns out everything that brother said is happening today. Let me say this, ladies and gentlemen. For the past couple of days, there's been this usual thing that these Cameroonian artists always go on with on social media, the back and forth, unnecessary beef and childish BS, with some of these folks who have been in the industry for more than 10 years. They are going back and forth, insulting back and forth, and trying to prove that these I'm better than you, I'm better than that, blah, blah, blah. And when you look at all this banality, you see that, ladies and gentlemen, how do you stay in the pit full of shit and then you keep fighting with somebody who is in the same pit full of shit with you? And that pit full of shit, I'm saying this is a Cameroonian music industry. It turns out that all of these artists that back in the days I was talking about, they didn't even rise to shit. I will keep it 100 with you, because I said this channel number 2 is going to be nothing but music. Pure thought and everything. If you don't like what Mr. J says on this platform, then I'm sorry, because I'm going to be as brutal as anything, and that goes to any industry around Africa that I see that is actually not, they are still doing BS. But it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, the Cameroonian music industry is charity begins at home, right? I will always start from there, because I have first-hand info, and I'm seeing what is happening, and I said what I'm saying, and it's happening till today. We have 2 very old artists in the industry beefing online. We have artists trying to come online to tell us who is the better rappers, this and so on and so forth. These folks that have been in the industry for decades, and till date, they have never ever had an international tour planned for them. And then we have young artists coming off the block like Black Sheriff. Because I remember back then when I was talking about the Lyrical Joe and Jovi situation, Black Sheriff wasn't even in the picture. But that is Black Sheriff now, the number 1 streamed artist from Ghana, going wild. There are young artists that have come out from Ghana that have gone wild with it. And they are making money. They are getting booked around the globe. I'm talking about Canada. I'm talking about America. I'm talking about Europe. Whereas my own artists in Cameroon think that the best thing to do is to go online and beef and fight where they cannot even prove. Yes, you might be getting a little bit of chicken change from 1 or 2 companies in Cameroon, but globally, you are a local champion in terms of the global terms of your music, because your music ends just in Cameroon. Let me say this, ladies and gentlemen, to end this vlog. Last year alone, the streaming revenue for Nigerian artists, Spotify paid $38 million US. We are talking about 61 trillion nairas into that economy in Nigeria. We have artists in Ghana that are bringing in bread by the tons, We have artists in South Africa that are making good money, Kenya that are making good money. But you see, you come to Cameroon, we have these old heads who, by the way, I just told a couple of these folks on Facebook with their post that all this childishness that I'm seeing going on, it is not elevating nothing. And I will say this again, like I said in channel number 1, music, the entertainment industry has uplifted the youth in Nigeria. You can argue with me, but from the moment that Nigerian music went global, so many people have gained jobs that are directly or indirectly related to that music industry. That is lacking in Cameroon, because a bunch of old artists, rather than try to see how to push that needle, they've spent their time on petty ego trips, things that do not even push their career anywhere. And tomorrow they will come when you try to tell them that this artist is better than you, they're going to try to catch a fit with their fan base. I will end this by saying this, marveling. My Cameroonian artists and my Cameroonian fan base, Are you happy with what is happening with the industry today? Because these old heads in the industry, they have set a precedent that some of these up and coming artists, I don't even know if there's any good up and coming artists from Cameroon anymore. That's my time. I want you to leave a comment, and if you are from any part of Motherland, I want you to chime in. Let's have a real conversation. Let's call a spade, because bro, you guys are uselessing yourself in that country in the name of being artists. That is why nobody takes you guys seriously anywhere. Stay blessed. That's my time, man. Be good. Remember, this is all love. Bless.
If you see me in the streets, better holler at me. Seeking for a beat, throw them dollars at me. I don't like defeat, take that away from me. You tryna be like me, you couldn't handle my story. But we gon' let you know, we gon' let you know. We gon' let you know, we gon' let you know.